Royals' hot and cold season continues as they lose 3 in a row and 4 out of their last 5. This is a game the Royals must need. They don't want to get swept by what was the time coming into the series the worst team in baseball. Brady Singer will go for the Royals and Tanner Gordon will go for the Rockies, making his major league debut. And now trying to bat for in the leadoff spot for the Royals is Adam Frazier. The Royals have had a rough time of that lately. Game time, 2:10 Central. Are now a game and a half back of the Red Sox. The Royals are getting This is an important road game for the Royals to get. Game time, 2:10, and at least grab one in the series. The Cardinals and Nationals starting their game the Cardinals have Kyle Gibson on the mound, and the DJ Harris will go for the Nationals. That game is underway. The score is in that rubber match today. Cubs and Angels rubber match today. Jose Soriano will go for the Angels, and Hayden Winowski will go for the Cubs. Game time, 1:20. Wrigley to host. Cubs. That's Sam Vaughan. Thank you and good afternoon. Right now, Missouri is fighting how Missouri and Kansas usually fight. They fought over many years for basketball and football, and where Mizzou was going for the conference. SEC. They fought again in wars. Kansas usually whines and gets the win. Missouri, they're always sad because they always lose. Whether it's the Chiefs or Royals or what is it, Missouri is always fighting. Missouri has a new plan, it says. Michael Parsons says one of the issues for the Chiefs is Missouri is all likelihood won't build a new stadium for Kansas City, Missouri, and that is a disadvantage to Kansas City, Kansas. Obviously, the Chiefs love Arrowhead, want to let it go. But if the Chiefs owner gets 70% of the bonds and playing in a new, beautiful stadium, will they move? Think about the Royals for sure are gone, he says. I hope in my world that the Royals go downtown, but they may not be an option as of right now. Kansas, I think, economically will have a big impact on the Super Bowl and maybe riding the Big 12 for basketball or football championship or basketball 12 tournament. Kansas maybe gets the Big 12 tournament and the Big 12 tournament goes back to Kansas City, or maybe it just stays in Kansas. Maybe even a small NBA team would have a chance. We would also have a shot at the Final Four and Super Bowl. Those reasons state why it might be better for the Chiefs to take that stadium. The Chiefs are about money, even though it says in this video that they may not be about hosting more events. I'm not saying that I agree with this. They've ran at least one showing, and if they're counting all the other showings and ran it by them, yes, I guess the River Market and North Kansas City and all the stadiums they've tried for Missouri would be a lot. Kansas City Star, this was voiced by the Kansas City Star. According to this article, Missouri wants the Chiefs because of Super Bowl and Patrick Mahomes. They're having a great year, great dynasty run by the Chiefs. On Friday, we talked about this and new ideas of the tax break. It'll be interesting to see the pitch. And are they going to take a 1/8 sale tax or 3/8 sale tax? And on Sam Vaughan Smack, this guy might say they don't care about the money, but they always care about the events and everything goes around it. Given the city and ownership, it makes money for the economy. I don't really care if you say it does. When you go to Vegas, you get the plot of a buffet, and then you go spend it on gambling. Do you think they give you the plot of buffet to just eat it? No, they give you the plot of a buffet for $5, and then they go spend the money on everything else. They're not going to just spend it on shopping. That's Sam Vaughan Smack!
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we do have an update on the situation regarding the Kansas City Royals and the Chiefs. Right now, the state of Kansas and the state of Missouri fighting for both of these teams, which is just an amazing situation for both of their ownership groups. This is exactly what we knew was going to happen when Kansas came out with that crazy offer. But you do have, according to the AP, Missouri governor says new public aid plan is in the works for the Chiefs and the Royals. This just came out a few days ago. Let's take a look at this article. Missouri Governor Mike Parson said Thursday that he expects the state to put together an aid plan by the end of the year to try and keep the Kansas City Chiefs and Royals from being lured across state lines to new stadiums in Kansas. Missouri's renewed efforts come after Kansas approved a plan last week that would finance up to 70% of the cost of new stadiums for the professional football and baseball teams. And see, that's an issue for Missouri because Missouri, I'm not even sure they are guaranteeing the Chiefs a new stadium. The original thought was that it was going to be an $800 million renovation, very costly, but it was going to be to Arrowhead. And honestly, a lot of Chiefs fans, I'm sure, love Arrowhead and don't want to see it go, but you do have to wonder, I mean, if you're the Chiefs ownership and you're getting an offer for a 70% financed dome stadium where the public possibly is paying like 1.6, 1.7 billion of the 2.2 or 2.3 billion dollar cost for the dome stadium, brand new state of the art, it's going to take a lot. I mean, they would have to really love Arrowhead. And on top of that, when you look at Missouri and the vote that happened, 42% supported the potential public money going for these renovations and then also for the Royals' new stadium. I think the Royals are probably for sure gone, just based off the fact that they've tried 4 or 5 different stadiums in Missouri. It hasn't happened, and now they've got kind of this layup in the state of Kansas where 70%, normally teams are happy when it's 50-50, or excuse me, I should say ownership groups are happy when it's 50-50. If that comes out as a correct number around 70%, because it does say up to 70%, maybe the negotiation number will be lower, or maybe it's based off of how well the stadium does in terms of producing revenue for the city. That could also be a clause into it. But I think the Royals for sure are gone. The Chiefs are a little bit more complicated because the Royals have already said they 100% are done with Kauffman Stadium by 2030. So they're either going to be in a new stadium in 2031 in Missouri or in Kansas. It just depends what's the offer that they get. And we really don't have a legitimate rendering for a potential stadium in Kansas. It was just kind of like a weird, almost AI created thing. There's been multiple renderings in Missouri, but right now I would predict that they would go to Kansas based off of what's happened recently, really over the past few years, about them trying to get a new stadium in Missouri and really just failing miserably. When it comes to the Chiefs, it's a little more complicated because they do have a legendary stadium, Arrowhead Stadium. They have made an effort to try and pitch for renovations, and the question becomes, depending on the offer, let's just say, for example, it's an $800 million renovation and Missouri and their people, they want to keep the Chiefs. They don't really care about the Royals, but they want to keep the Chiefs because of Mahomes. They have a dynasty run. They're extremely popular. Would they be open to paying for possibly $600 million of the $800 million? And would the Chiefs ownership be interested in possibly staying at Arrowhead? Or is this a situation where the offer in Kansas is just too good with a brand new dome stadium? You're going to get more revenue because you're going to host events year round. And I don't think they really care a ton, at least from what I've read, like this ownership group. Some ownerships are just obsessed with hosting these year-round events, the concerts, all of it. But from this ownership group, it seems like they are trying to make an effort to remain in Arrowhead. Of course, I might just be reading into it. Maybe they're just looking for the best offer in that.
Well, Matt Stoney off to an excellent start.
Oh, that is nasty. Who would want to eat that many hot dogs? Anyways, I'm going to a cookout. Here's my card. DoorDash some hot dogs. Be good.
DoorDash.
Who spent $1,300 on DoorDash? And what's that smell?
Well.